Good evening, Anand, and good evening to Abhijita and to Sanjeev, and congratulations to Sanjeev on
Thank you,
the fact
Anand.
that he's soon going to be a grandfather. He looks younger than Abhijita, so I don't know how that happened. But there are
Anand, we still talk about it. Wait.
there are there are two issues, Anand, and I think both merit going into. The first is on MP and the second on Telangana, if I may. So, as far as MP is concerned, Anand, we've all seen it before, in a class everyone's doing well until a couple of truants come along, those shaitan backbenchers, and they completely ruin all predictions about the class, past process. And that is exactly what has happened in the exit polls of Madhya Pradesh. Everything was touch and go, Congress, BJP, 110, 115. And suddenly these two outliers come in. And they've completely stretched what in statistics is called the standard deviation. So we don't know which way to go about. I mean, if these two, if you remove the outliers, then it's touch and go. But if you don't, then it kind of heavily skews the poll of polls. So I don't know which way to go. But be that as it may, I think you're absolutely right. Except that I want to add something to it. You see, normally in BJP ruled states, first of all, I think it's, as you said, to if we were to go by the poll of polls, including the skewing by the outliers, then Shivraj, or Mamaji has done something spectacular, to beat an anti-incumbency of 2 decades. It's just unbelievable. But the fact of the matter is, if I go by the canvassing that the BJP has done over the last month and a half, in every erstwhile BJP ruled state, whenever Narendra Modi or Amit Shah have gone in, they've always talked about this double engine ki sarkar, कि हमारा engine तो काम कर ही रहा है, like in UP, in every other state. In this canvassing in Madhya Pradesh, this phrase was conspicuous by its absence. And the reason for that is that people realize, until, of course, in the 11th hour, the Ladli thing was kind of buttressed by, giving this kind of adding the dole to the Ladli scheme. People realize that mostly, if at all BJP would do well, it would be on the basis of the front engine, which is the Modi engine. So, and what has happened, if you look at the data, it is the Modi engine that has not only pulled the train, but also the so-called defunct problematic engine of Shivraj, which is at the end of the train. And if you go by the data, it is astonishing, because for an 80 million population of state, 25 million of them now hold the Ayushman card. And you were talking about 2% women voters, 8 million have Ujjwala, 8 million have toilets. And these are the schemes, central schemes, that have completely changed the whole scenario as far as women in Madhya Pradesh is concerned. So I think, if at all the poll of polls comes out to be correct, including the outliers, I think the credit, I would have to say, would go more towards the Modi central front engine than the back state engine. As far as the Telangana is concerned, I would love to hear views about Telangana from Sanjeev and Abhijita, because they are seasoned analysts of this. Because I'll tell you what has happened. Normally, elections are won 90% populism, 10% communalism, or 5% communalism, 5% secularism, whatever. In this case, if you look at the welfareism of the BRS, it has gone unhinged. It is unbelievable. The welfare schemes, everything that is done. I mean, you talk about Aam Aadmi Party, and you talk about Punjab, which is in debt of 2.5 lakh crores now because of this freebies and populism of Aam Aadmi Party. BRS, the Telangana state right now, is in debt of 6 lakh crores. That amounts to each Telangana resident in debt of 1.7 lakhs. Anand, think about this. And despite this, if BRS loses, you really have to, I don't know what to do. You have to go back to the drawing board and consider that what is the Indian electorate doing? Have they actually gone beyond this freebie culture? Have they realized that, look, this is something that is not going to work forever? Or if BRS, throws a surprise, then we are back to normal again. So these are the two things that I wanted to talk about.
So you make very interesting points, because welfareism, PM Modi on the ticket, Rahul Gandhi's electoral debacle, or not having the kind of political purchase. But the third aspect is, are voters now looking at not just the freebies or the welfare aspect, but also how am I economically able? Am I able to, is my life getting better, or am I for the worse? See, Sanjeev, where would you want to look at this election and peg it on? Because Shivraj was very clear. Shivraj Singh was very clear when he said, "Ladli Behna and Behno ne hame jita diya." Or apratyashit jeet is what he has talked about. That means in 2003 they had about 140 seats. This time they are saying that they will beat that. And if Madhya Pradesh does that, and if they win Rajasthan, that sets the tone that the heartland is coming back to the BJP or it's with Modi. That's what the political story is going to be. And for the Congress, which was trying to lead the India bloc or the Indie bloc, where do they go? And for BRS, which had national ambitions and wanted to push a third front, they're nowhere. They're routed in their own state, in their own backyard. Sanjeev.
There's so many things one can talk about. I will take my cues from what you just said and what Anand just said. See, if Mr. Modi was so popular, this double engine thing would have been so effective, then why did we have Karnataka or Himachal? So the double engine actually works when the the second engine is also doing well. The first engine can only take you past the winning post if your second bogie or second engine is performing well in the eyes of the people. Because people across the country, I think the more I travel, the more I understand that, have clearly demarcated the two, national and state elections. There is no comparison. So they lost the Hindi heartland, these three states, Chhattisgarh, MP and Rajasthan last time around, and one hands down, it was nearly 100% record in these three states, or 98%. So they have completely differentiated the two. They are electing a PM, they are electing a CM. They are electing a federal national government, they are electing a state government. So while Mr. Modi's charisma remains, he's the number one charismatic leader, he can turn the tide in close elections in state polls. If there is a real swing or if there is anti-incumbency or pro-incumbency, he can't do much about it. So if MP is won, I would give more credit to Shivraj, that he has shaken off that anti-incumbency which everyone was talking about these past few months. For the reason his face was not projected, and then it was kind of semi-projected. Because Mr. Modi is the smartest of us all as far as politics is concerned. He knows कि state election में मेरा उतना धमाका नहीं है जितना national polls में. एक बात तो ये हुई. The second thing which one has to now really underscore, and which is not a new case. It has been since kingdom come, but it's now ever so pronounced. The divide between north and south of India's. So while we may go endlessly gaga over whatever, those issues do not resonate south of India's. We saw it in Karnataka, we saw it in Hyderabad. Mr. Modi remains very popular. But unlike in north, where sometimes Rahul Gandhi is subject of fun, ridicule, nicer words I am using. But he is one of the most loved characters in Hyderabad. Now, how do you beat it? It's the same country. they speak as good in their Deccani accent, but Hindi is spoken there. Hyderabad, everybody understands. There's no problem. But Rahul is very much acceptable. He's well liked, and that's the problem which is not just with KCR, but it's a problem with OVC is facing now. So he's have to guard his stuff. So I think this divide will be, it has been there in 1977 also, we saw it. Indira Gandhi won south of India, lost north. So north, Mr. Modi is 100% likely to, as things stand now, hold his own in north in 2024 national elections. But south में अभी भी दिक्कत है, problem है. Though he will get more seats in south than in the state elections. So those were the two takeaways. I think KCR, whatever freebies, welfare state, it may be the number one state. I think Ashok Gehlot is as good. But लोग क्या इनके आगे बढ़ गए? अभी उनको KCR की welfare schemes के ज़्यादा, they see the three faces of family, KCR, KTR, Kavita. अरे भाई यही इन तीन जनों के लिए तेलंगाना बनाया क्या? So the whole Parivarwad thing echoes there as much. And people also realize that ultimately whatever you do, KCR will in the end bat for BJP. So the anti-BJP vote is gravitating towards the Congress. कि भाई हमको जिससे लड़ाई है, उसको हराने वाली पार्टी तो ये है. Why did BJP go up so sharply in between in Telangana? Because they were seen as somebody who will take on KCR. Gradually this impression gained, right or wrong, that they will not take on KCR.